guys, this is my first commentary for Medal of Honor Warfighter. Of course, this video was actually recorded during release night for PC on Origin. So I am a little bit leveled up. I believe I'm level 7 Sergeant Private. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to be talking about is some just general topics about my first impressions about the game and some of the things that went on in the game, and just little explanations of some of the things that impressed me, some of the things I do like, some of the things I don't like. Of course, during this gameplay video, I do get off at a bit of a rough start. The enemies do seem to take me out quite a bit, but then things start to turn around from there. So let me just get started. Of course, Medal of Honor Warfighter does use the Frostbite 2 engine, and it does have that similar gameplay look and feel to Battlefield 3, but it does have its differences. It's not necessarily Battlefield 3. I mean, it is a standalone game that is more of an arcade type of first-person shooter and less of a more simulated or realistic shooter. The map that I'm playing on currently is Sarajevo Stadium, and it's actually set to real ops mode, so that means I don't get any type of ammo count or crosshair or anything like that. It's kind of like a hardcore mode on Battlefield 3. And the game mode I'm actually playing is Hotspot. The goal of Hotspot is to defend or attack a number of bombs around each set map. Every bomb site is planted in a different location and is randomized in every game on the map. So that's just to give you a brief idea of what Hotspot game mode really is all about. So I mean, for those of you that play Battlefield 3, of course I'm making a lot of references to you know, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield games in general, but it's similar to like playing Rush mode. One of the things I really like about Medal of Honor Warfighter is the fluidity of the game. Everything seems to flow really well, especially for the type of graphics that it uses with the Frostbite 2 engine. Everything just looks nice and crisp and clear and very smooth. One of the other cool things about Warfighter is the fact that you actually get fire teams instead of squads. And what that means is it's only you and one other person on a fire team, and you have that one-on-one type of communication to be able to correlate your attacks and how you want to clear objectives or you know, defend objectives. So that way it kind of lessens the likelihood of people talking over each other and not getting things done in the game or working as a team. Of course, a lot of you know that I'm going to play as my favorite class, which is Sniper. So the actual sniper rifle that I was using in the game, since I didn't have much to pick to begin with, is actually Macmillan TAC 300. At first glance, using this rifle wasn't much of what I was expecting because it had a smaller range scope on it, but once I leveled up a few ways, I was able to switch out the sniper scope for something that was able to give me a little bit of a farther zoom. So now I'm actually starting to like it more because I can see my enemies and pull off headshots a lot easier now than before. Of course, in Warfighter I noticed that it was a lot easier to snipe, just for the simple fact that you know, I'm used to Battlefield 3 and having bullet drop with the sniper rifles. In this game, it's more point and shoot regardless of whatever gun you use. So I kind of like that a little bit. Although things seem to go a lot more fast-paced in the game, so you got to be pretty quick on your toes when you're making your shots and running and moving from place to place. For the most part, what I noticed with the multiplayer maps that I have played, a lot of the areas are definitely war-torn. And the cool thing is that you know, the maps aren't as linear or you know, narrowly set up as one might think. You can actually go through certain pathways and find secret areas to be able to advance and go on forward throughout the game. So it's pretty nice to know that you have the not necessarily open areas, but areas that have additional pathways to be able to do different things and be able to attack in certain ways. It's just nice to know that you have multiple ways of exiting as well as entering somewhere. One of the nice things about Medal of Honor Warfighter is the way you spawn in the game. And what I mean by that is, you know how normal first-person shooters usually have an instantaneous spawn, or have you start from a black screen and you kind of just fade into being in existence. This game actually does a refreshing approach to spawning in game. For instance, you can spawn in on your fire team mate. When you actually spawn in on them, it gives you a third-person view perspective, and of course the countdown timer before you spawn in. But as soon as that countdown timer runs out, you kind of just have a motion pan camera into zoom of you where you're going to be at right behind your teammate and spawn in, which is kind of nice. It's very smooth and good transition for spawning in, because you actually get to see still what's going on when you spawn in game, which is nice. Also, if any of your teammates get the additional perk of calling in for backup, another neat feature is that you can spawn in on the backup helicopter when it comes in, and the respawn animation starts off with you rappelling from the helicopter in that smooth type of frame set that it has in the game, which is kind of charming. I like it. It's a very good approach for respawning in a game. It adds a level of intensity and awesomeness to it. One of the other cool things about Warfighter is you do get perks, and of course this is similar to, one would say, like Call of Duty's perk system, but the thing is that getting these perks don't seem cheap or necessarily being super rewarded for having awesome kill streaks. They actually feel more like situational things that you would use in case you know, you feel like you're being overrun by the enemy or anything like that. I mean, they don't seem like they're cheap perks to use, I guess you could say. Of course, in Warfighter, you don't have really any vehicles. You know, it's solely a infantry-based game, which is kind of nice because you know that you don't have to worry about any other major stuff going on. And also, as a side note, you still can crouch and prone in this game, which is also nice as well. The other cool thing that I noticed with using the sniper rifle is that you can actually prop down the bipod on it and get the extra support and accuracy that you would need, and being able to stabilize the sniper rifle, which is nice. So, you know, I don't necessarily use it in this video, I don't think, but there were times where I needed it when I just wanted to post up to defend a bomb or a flag. I think the secondary pistol that I have for the sniper was actually the G18 with an extended clip. I think it gives me like 25 to 30 bullets to fire out of that pistol, so it's kind of nice to know that when you play as a sniper class, you have that fully automatic pistol as your backup in case the enemy gets too close to you. And in some games I was actually able to get away with running around the entire map with just using that pistol, so it's a really nice pistol to have for your sniper class. With the sniper class, instead of getting grenades to throw at your enemies, you actually get proximity mines that you can throw at your enemies. It does take a little bit longer to throw them out though in comparison to grenades from what I've noticed, but they're nice. When you throw the proximity mines out, you know, especially if an enemy's closing in on you and you need to push back, you can actually booby trap the enemy by you know, coming around the corner with that proximity mine and blowing them up. So it's actually cool, and the total that you get, I believe, is 2, or at least as far as I know from the making of this video, since I'm such a low level, but we'll see from there. Even though the maps are, like I said, really war-torn, I can appreciate the fact that a lot of thought went into these maps to make it pretty unique as far as the way you can approach certain scenarios, like running up the I think that elongated gutter there for the sewage, or just coming right underneath it to go through and you know, attack straight into the houses in certain areas that are war torn. I mean, it's nice. It's not something that just seems like it's thrown together. Of course, the hotspot mode, like I said, is very similar to the rush mode in Battlefield 3. The attackers actually get a set amount of respawns before they can deplete them and lose, while the defenders have pretty much infinite respawn and just defend the position that the attackers need to plant the bomb at. The melee weapon that you get to use in-game, instead of a knife, you actually get to use a tomahawk, which seems to carry the similar aspect of you know, having an animation like in Battlefield 3 with the knife. So when you actually go up to an enemy, depending on how they're positioned, if you sneak up behind them or come up in front of them, will depend on the animation and how the tomahawk is used to assassinate your enemy, so to speak. But I must say that the assassinations or the quick kills in this game using a melee weapon seem to be a lot more faster and intense to try and get you back into the battle rather than sitting there the entire time, witnessing this animation. It's more quick and then back to the point where you want to be able to stay alive and be able to kill your enemy if you want to. Warfighter does have some extensive customizations to it. You can put on a certain type of camo for your gun, or decide to have no camo at all and decide to stick with the regular loadout of the gun's color, right down to snow or woodland or any type of camo really. And that goes for any gun. You also can customize the optics, the barrel, the end of the gun. I mean, there's a high level of customization in this game for your guns as you progress in them. Also, the other cool thing is that you do have different skins that you can wear for different special forces or operative teams from different countries, which makes Warfighter really awesome, because I feel like it's a first-person shooter that everyone around the world can appreciate, because they can feel like they're doing their part by playing and supporting their specific role from their country as a military man. Alright guys, I know there wasn't a whole lot of information as far as the first commentary goes for Warfighter, but if you guys are interested, I can continue making these videos too, so that way you can learn about certain weapons or certain playstyles as I further progress my gameplay abilities in Warfighter. Just give me some comments and feedback and let me know, and I guess I'll just see you guys next time.